and I guess they accidentally leaked, supposedly, I guess the road plan for Microsoft or for Xbox, which is crazy. So it's like a plan that's for the next few years. I guess there's a list of all the things that they're going to be dropping. Mr. Matty Plays, we have a video coming up with him, was actually talking about it as well. And I would love to hear just a little bit of what he has to say about this. But dude, Phil Spencer dropped the tweet on X, formerly known as Twitter. I got this whole article here by Game Informer, so we're going to read this. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Who knew? Who knew that trying to purchase Activision Blizzard would expose Xbox? Oh man, Phil Spencer, he was laughing in this interview or in this like this the interview with Bloomberg, him and Todd Howard talking to these two folks from Bloomberg. And when the lady asks, I think it was the gentleman and the lady asked Todd Howard these questions. Phil Spencer, he would just like you would literally see him like smirk and kind of laugh. Like it's visible, like he's just laughing at all these questions. It's just crazy. While Todd Howard just takes the flack of these questions about Starfield. But anyway, so now I guess this is like the bite. I guess Phil Spencer gets his moment, man. Like where it's like, dude, what's going on? Like what are you guys doing here, man? But I don't want to get off on that whole tangent. The whole point of this is they drop a bunch of games here, which is going to be crazy. So let's get into this article by Wesley LeBlanc on Game Informer. We got Phil Spencer here. Phil Spencer addresses massive Xbox leak in new statement. This was literally today. Like a couple hours ago or something like that. Eastern. I assume that this is Eastern Standard Time. So anyway, earlier this morning, various Xbox and Microsoft documents leaked online, emails and development plans, internal details, and more. And it's how we learned Xbox Phil Spencer considered acquiring Nintendo and Warner Brother Games. That's crazy. At one point, that Xbox is planning an Xbox Series X and S refresher for next year, which I just seen pictures of. It looks like a cylinder Xbox Series X. That's very interesting. That it might be working on remasters of Fallout 3 and Elder Scrolls. Oh my god. They got a Elder Scrolls 3. Hold up, excuse me. We have a Fallout 3 and an Elder Scrolls Oblivion remastered. That's just I love those games. I especially particularly, excuse me, cannot talk. Oblivion. I like Oblivion. I love that game. They do a remaster of that. I mean, we don't need any more remasters. We need Elder Scrolls 6. You know what I mean? We needed Starfield to be on whatever. I continue. Or I digress. So anyway, in that Microsoft has plans for a next-gen hybrid console in 2028. So they're already making a next-gen console, and it's going to drop in 2028 when we're in 2023. These are just my personal opinions. These games don't even seem like they're even... These systems I guess are so powerful that the games, they're either the games aren't matching up with the console or their console isn't matching up with the games. I think these game developers now, they're all making their games based off of the technology for the Series X. That's just my opinion. And then they go from there instead of, and there's technical and development, reasons for that, because whatever, man, whatever. If you're making it for the Series S and that's the lowest bar for next gen gaming, and you're making all these games set for that bar, almost all of them set for that bar to be able to play on that system. Meanwhile, if we're supposed to be in the next gen, we need to be on next gen 60 frames per second. It's got to be close to 4K, man. 4K 60 frames, not 4K 30 frames or 10K 1080 1080 at 60 frames. It's just, oh man, it gets really technical. I get it. There's a lot of technical jargon and development and process and research and development that goes into all that to make all this stuff happen with video games and consoles in general. But it's like, man, anyway, my point is they're already going to make another system when this system here, I feel like, hasn't even come close to dropping anything that's like the full potential of the system, and then what's full potential of what game development can be right now in 2023 with the resources. And it's just, these games aren't it, man. I think they could do better, and these systems that they just dropped like 2.5-3 years ago is already about to be replaced by something else that, like, man, like, I hope that next gen is on a whole other scale compared to where we're at right now. Because right now these games they seem really lackluster and really rushed and not given all the time and love and quality that they need and research to make. Anyway, the leaks were quite extensive, and after some online confusion, we learned via Bloomberg that Microsoft accidentally provided federal courts with confidential and not redacted documents. Following news of these leaks, Spencer has now addressed what's happened with a brief statement on Twitter. And we've seen the conversation around old emails and documents. And it is hard to see our team's work shared in this way because so much has changed and there is so much to be excited about right now and in the future. We will share the plans when we are ready. And that's Phil Spencer. That's today on Twitter. And we got to follow Phil Spencer. I'm pretty sure I do follow, but man, Phil Spencer, you got to save Xbox, bro. You got to save video games and get rid of these microtransactions and make great high quality games. And if you want to put them on tablets and TVs and all that, you do you, but just remember, you're making good games here, man. If you make good games, I'm telling you, people are gonna buy the console that you make it for, or they're gonna buy the software or whatever platform that you're making these games on. They will buy it as long as you're making good games. We shared that on Twitter, but The Verge has obtained a more in-depth memo sent to Xbox employees. Here it is in full. Team, today several documents submitted in the court proceedings related to our proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard were unintentionally disclosed. I know this is disappointing, even if many of the documents are well over a year old and our plans have evolved. Which, I'm going to pause there. I would love to see how those plans evolved within a year. Since if this is old information of last year, I would love to see what the moves that they're making, and if they're still following through with the moves from this leak, and then what, very interesting. I also know, excuse me, so back to this. I also know we all take the confidentiality of our plans and our partners' information very seriously. This leak obviously is not us living up to that expectation. We will learn from that, or we will learn from what happened and be better going forward. We all put in incredible amounts of passion and energy into our work, and it's never how we want the hard work to be shared with the community. That said, there's so much more to be excited about, and when we're ready, we'll share the real plans with our players. In closing, I appreciate all of the work that you pour into Team Xbox to surprise and delight our players. In the days and weeks ahead, let's stay focused on what we can control, continuing the amazing success of Starfield, the upcoming launch of the incredible and accessible Forza Motorsport, and continuing to build games, services, and devices that millions of players can enjoy. Phil. Something of note, especially for those particularly, The Verge, or yes, I don't know, The Verge, Game Informer, Wesley says something of note, especially for those particularly excited about something that might have leaked today. It is that in both the internal memo to Xbox employees and the public-facing statement posted to Twitter, Spencer says these leaked documents and emails are old and have plans changed. He also says that the team will share the real plans when ready. Now he obviously can't say the leaked information is what's happening and must downplay it as a result. But it's also a reminder to take everything that has come to light with a grain of salt, because it's very likely plans have changed. Wesley LeBlanc, the associate editor of Game Informer. Very interesting. Too late. Phil's cat's out of the bag. Okay, so, how I feel about it. What this says is like what it says. This information has been leaked out. There was a whole list. I don't know. Who was I just watching? They had literally a whole list of the stuff that was dropping. I don't know. Can we get that? Let me see the full list. Check this out. There's a look at the new controller. We're on digital trends. I feel like I don't really know too much about them, but it seems shout out to Game Informer. Yeah, all that information from Game Informer. Talks about, or the leak, excuse me, everything in that leak talks about this new cylinder looking Xbox, the new controller that's supposed to have haptic feedback. I'm pretty sure Reforged Gaming, I heard him bring that up, which we can probably see right here if it's. That's Charlie Intel. No way. Charlie Intel dropped this? The world's best controller now playing on a screen near you. So I'm hearing that you could use this controller to be able to play the game without the console or something like that. It's insane. So the software will be in the controller or something? Let's see. Ubiquity. Play Anywhere, Xbox Wireless 2, which we have the Elite Series 2. It's an amazing controller. This controller looks pretty sweet. It's like really flat at the bottom. It's like really flat at the bottom. It's flat at the top compared to the Elite Series 2. Seamless pair and switch. New mobile app features, C-paired devices, and cloud. Because they're really like hype on this cloud gaming stuff. It's insane. Manage devices and accessories. Immersion feel the game. There's the haptic feedback. That's cool. VCA haptics. Double as speakers. Accelerometer. What's that? Quieter buttons and thumbsticks. That definitely needs to be a thing. They're so loud. So loud. Just it's literally so loud. Give me some less, or give me some quieter, more durable controllers. You know what I mean? Sustainability, do good, feel good, rechargeable and swappable battery. See, that's major key. Having the rechargeable, like, it's got to be USB, and then you can put batteries in. All right, you got to be able to. It's like a USB. You could charge it with the USB, plug it in USB C, and then still use batteries. You put it, plop it like right in the back, and you're good. That's where technology needs to be at, for sure. For them to be asking for all this money and stuff for these controllers, I mean, they're going to be asking for way more. If this is the case, I haven't even gotten. Hold up. Durable and reliable. New modular thumbsticks, improved longevity. That's good. Continued build improvement. Approachability, engage, and delight. Lift to awake. What does that mean? So you just like lift the controller up and it just turns the system on? Dude, that's insane. Right? You just lift the controller up and it just knows? That's got to be like some kind of dock you have to put it on for it to do that or something. Or there's some kind of switch that you would have to hit for that to be like a... That's insane. Because wouldn't that take like battery life? Say if you just have it chilling, it's just constantly getting ready to read that a person's about to pick up the controller and it needs to turn on. Like, wouldn't that take up battery life? I don't know. Familiar Xbox feel. Same ergonomics as Merlin. Okay. Same layout and activation forces, SC, LD, and XDO options as expected. I don't know what these are. These are the ports for the microphone. Interesting. So they said it's like a Brooklyn. This is from Axios. Straight from Axios here. The unprecedented Microsoft leak reveals plans for new Xbox systems. So what do we have here? We have the most powerful Xbox ever. Now, adorably, all digital. Like somebody got, like these were leaked. These were there. That's insane. This is just like old R&D tech. Or old, like what? Our old marketing, our old plans for... That's insane, man. So the Brooklyn will deliver 4K Gen 9 console gaming with more internal storage, faster Wi-Fi, reduced power, a more immersive controller, and a beautiful redesign that elevates the all digital experience of the Xbox ecosystem, giving our fans more to love, beautiful and innovative new design, more internal storage for games, 2 terabyte, USB C, front port with power delivery, all new, more immersive controller, same great price at $500. Updated technologies. All new Southbridge to modernize I/O and sustainability efforts. The Wi-Fi 6E radio for better throughput, latency, and interference mitigation. Okay. B2 5.2 radio for improved accessory experiences. 6, is that millimeter? Die shrink for improved efficiency. And then an improved sustainability story. Reduce BCU power. That's great by 15%. Okay. New lower power standby mode is 20% of current XSS. XSS standby mode. Increase use of PCR on housing to 30%. 100% recyclable packaging. So these Xboxes are made out of recycled packaging. Are the wires, I guess the internals. Is it the outside? Is it the internal? So it's like supposed to be very, I guess, a little bit more environmental friendly. And it takes up less power. It's more power, but takes up less energy. It's a 2 terabyte and the lower power consumption priced at $590 or $499. A slightly revamped Xbox Series S dubbed Ellawood, and a new Xbox controller codenamed Sebel that contains a tilt sensor, quieter buttons, and ability to connect to a mobile app. Interesting. Microsoft Slides listed the new controller's launch for May 2024 with the rollout of the refresh Xbox models that fall. Well, looks like we're getting a new Xbox next year, boys and girls. I don't know. Obviously, you have to take this stuff with a grain of salt because, obviously that was a year ago, and with the way technology and the way people be thinking and making moves, it changes like the wind. Especially with technology ever so growing. It's like it's powerful, man. It's insane. But I want to get it. We're going to get it. We'll get whatever this PS6 is too. Whatever this new Nintendo. See, man, the thing with Nintendo, they gotta drop something that's 60 frames. I can't be playing these games. I don't really care about the mobility aspect of it. It's like, dude, you guys are doing all that mobility, but not 60 frames. And I know they're selling so many. That's cool. You're selling to a bunch of kids. Kids are always going to buy the video games, but if you want to really get, I guess, bring in another audience that's willing to pay money for your game or for your system, you gotta get the 60 frames going. The folks at Nintendo are very intelligent folks. I know they got some powerful technology that they could be dropping a fire Nintendo Switch 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it's going to be, or Switch 2 or whatever it is. I think it'll be Switch 3 by then. I know that they can come up with that mobile, they can kill it at the mobile gaming. Just give me the 60 frames on whatever display that you're rocking with. That's all I got to say about that. Xbox here, I mean, am I really gonna buy a refresh Xbox even though I already have one? I already have a Series X. Am I gonna go out and go buy a refresh one? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. It'd be cool to do a review on it, but it's like, dude, if they're gonna be making a new one in 8 years or 4 years, I don't know why I said 8. If they're gonna be making one 4 years from next year, which today is September 19th, 2023, if they're going to make one, if they're going to make this refreshed or whatever this new current refresh of the Xbox Series X and S, if they're going to make that next year, I mean, dude, you guys are dropping a new system in like 4 years. Now, I don't know if that's still going to be the case though, right? So it's 2028. You know what I mean? 2028. That's 4 years from now, and the games for this system now are kind of are kind of not up to, I feel like, the real standard that they should be held to, which I know that they can live up to. They can certainly do it. I know they have. Anyway, I don't know how I feel. Long story short, I don't know how I feel about buying another Xbox. When there's going to be a new one in 4 years, and the games aren't really, in my personal opinion, living up to their standards. So why would I give them any? They need to do more for me to really want to go and rebuy another Xbox. We don't need a new one. Just put it that way. We don't need a new one. With what they have right now, what they're offering, there's no point, because these things, what their business move, it seems to be, is they're going to do the Game Pass. The Game Pass. Game Pass everywhere. Game Pass on this. Game Pass on your TV and all your mobile devices. It's like you won't even need like a piece of hardware anymore. I think that's one of the big things that they're probably talking about, or that's what's slowly being pushed into the fray here, or into this console war thing, is, well, if they're doing all this stuff for Game Pass, there's not going to be any point of buying. What's the point of having the hardware then? If you're going to be able to play, you won't be able to play all the games. But I feel like what they're getting at, some of the folks that I listen to on YouTube and these different gaming websites and content creators and stuff like that, that the hardware is just going to be obsolete, and you'll be playing everything via these apps, just like how Netflix is and all this other stuff is like for movies and TV shows. You'll just go to these Game Passes, and that's where all the games will be at. And if you don't have the actual hardware to play any of the older games, you probably won't be able to do that anymore. So it's like, okay, well, now the hardware is out of the system. So what are we paying all this money for? Well, you're going to be paying for the service, the subscription, to be able to access that content that company is going to be making. It's just crazy the way technology is evolving. So, and where we're going with gaming. I got to see more information because I don't know too much, and this is just based off a couple of little articles here and just my presumption and some of the other stuff that's going on that I've heard today. I mean, we got to do more research on it. I want to see what they provide, though, in the end. I want to see what they provide and where they go with the future of Xbox and these systems. I need to see it. I want to see it because there's not a lot of competitors to these folks. There's just PlayStation or Sony and Nintendo. It's like these are the three gaming and PC. These are like the four gaming platforms. And then now it's like mobile. So it's mobile, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. These are like the five. It's crazy. These are what all, you know, gamers are playing these video games on these, whatever these devices are, or any of the older games, arcade stuff like that. They're playing it on these systems. I mean, I want to see the future for it. I want to see the future for Xbox. It looks like we're kind of got a glimpse into it. I would love to see what they end up coming with and what they learn from the past systems and from their consumers. And I hope they do better. That's kind of what I think about that. I think Mr. Matty Plays over here talks about Fallout 3 and Oblivion, the remakes. We got to go check that out. Shout out to Mr. Matty Plays. He's a legend right here. Let's see what he has to say about this.
My brothers and my sisters, we have gathered here today to celebrate this enormous W that has been bestowed upon us by the great Todd Howard. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. It is happening. Fallout 3 Remaster. My years of scratching and clawing my way to this moment, and finally, some vindication has arrived. I have been begging for this. You have been begging for this.
Let's go.
And it's finally happening.
Mr. Matty Plays. He's excited.
I don't know where else to begin but with a good old story. So I'm sitting here last night around 1 a.m. playing a little game for a review. We'll talk about it later this week. And, you know, I'm getting a little sleepy, so I think, all right, I'm going to go to bed. It's 1 a.m., right? As I'm getting ready to shut down the operation, my Discord starts blowing up. I see the words Fallout 3 Remaster, Oblivion Remaster. I see Dishonored friggin' 3. I'm like, what is going on right now? So I start diving deep, and it doesn't take long to figure out what happened. The biggest Xbox leak in history has just occurred. When Xbox was submitting all the documents to the FTC for their court case to acquire Activision Blizzard, there was a massive leak that happened where the documents that were supposed to be blocked out, redacted, all that stuff, has now slipped out. So much has come out that, yes, we're going to break it up into two videos because we have a massive Bethesda leak and then we have a massive Xbox leak. The Bethesda leak is what we're talking about today. The schedule of games that they had planned for us. I'm so excited. And then Xbox has a massive leak. I feel bad for them because they are probably freaking out right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Refresh leaked. New controller leaked.
Yes.
Their vision for the next set of consoles in presumably 2028 leaked. All this leaked, and it happened overnight in a flash, and now we have a pretty good vision of what's happening for Bethesda. We have a pretty good vision of what's happening with Xbox moving forward. Yep. We're going to talk about Bethesda today because after begging so much for this Fallout 3 remaster,
finally, it's crazy. It's about to be fire.
Vegas remaster one day. It is finally happening. And ladies and gentlemen, with that Oblivion remaster being here on an official document from Microsoft, we're going back to that old
on an official document
here today. But before anything else, a quick word from today's sponsor.
Yo, shout out to Mr. Matty Plays, because I don't want to play any more of his video. You got to go tap in with him. Man, that's crazy. I want to see what this new Oblivion's going to be sick. The remastered Oblivion is going to be pretty